Welcome in McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Thursday, January 8th, 7 a.m. right here on Jocks. Do not believe we have McElroy today. Honestly, no idea. He's getting set for his game tomorrow night. Alabama basketball goes down last night. We got quotes from Nate Oates. We got accusations at Nate Oates, but we got college football playoff tonight. A college football playoff game will be played tonight. You'll hear from the coaches. We'll discuss the game. We'll break it down. We'll get some Rubik's Cube going for you today. Still a lot to get to as it pertains to these two games. We haven't really gotten into breaking down what we think is going to happen tonight and tomorrow night. Haven't really gone max ball on these just yet, so we should probably do that today. We should spend some time on it. But I want to start with this question because I remember about 2 weeks from now, a year ago, when we had a whole lot of people telling us they didn't watch the college football playoff because their team wasn't in it. So I'll start with this very simply. If your team's not in it, we do have Ole Miss fans that listen to the show. Fully aware of that. Not going to pretend like we don't. I think we have some Miami fans that listen to the show. Pretty certain. And then we'll go ahead and roll into Oregon and Indiana. If your team's not in it, are you watching tonight? Just need to know. If you are, what do you want to see? What do you think is going to happen? How's this game going to go? Obviously, Ole Miss, with all the off-field distractions, all the coaching scenarios that have taken place, pretty impressive that they're here, getting through Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Back-to-back years, Georgia's lost in the college football playoff in the Sugar Bowl. Kejuan Lacey looks great last week. Trinidad Chambliss looks great. Wide receiver step up, make some plays. The difference was the defensive line. And that Georgia offensive line played inconsistent ball. Probably, if Mike Bobo could go back, I think he would call the game a little bit differently. I think there would be more downhill run game, a little bit more north-south in the run game. Now, I think he still had to try the screens. He had to try to widen them out a little bit, had to get the quick game going. You think about outside of Zachariah Branch kind of ducking under a tackle one time and picking up 8 or 10 extra yards, the quick game didn't really go for Georgia. It wasn't there, and they had more opportunities down the field. They benefited from some flags late to be able to get back in that game. But Ole Miss has multiple weapons offensively that they rely on week in, week out. They're explosive there. But that defensive line was the difference last week. Eccles and Harris were incredible against Georgia. I mean, Xavier Harris, who I believe goes 6'7", 320-ish, probably on a lighter day. He had 10 total tackles in that game, only 1 for loss. It felt like he had 7 for loss. Umunmielen played well. Centurion Perkins wasn't really asked to do things behind the line of scrimmage much, but had a good game. And Will Eccles was just unbelievable. 2 TFLs, 2 passes deflected. That's actually one thing that I noticed watching that game back again yesterday. Both teams, and really it's actually happened to multiple teams in this playoff, that passes has been knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Dante Moore had a couple knocked down. Gunnar Stockton had a couple knocked down. Trinidad had a few knocked down. And Texas Tech had a couple knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Oregon as well. But we'll focus in on tonight, focus in on this game. Going back to last week, remember, Pete Golding said he was going to allow his defense to be much more aggressive up front. He thought Bobo did a great job of delaying when the ball was going to be snapped, and he did it in multiple ways, whether that is a little sugar huddle, whether it's huddle, then sprint to the line of scrimmage and go quickly, whether it's traditional huddle, take your time, whether it's tempo, then wait and look over, trying to get that thing under 15 seconds so then he can't communicate. Thought he did that very well the first time that they played, so he told me before the game, this time we're going to allow our defensive front to be more aggressive. I don't want my linebackers thinking. I want them see ball, get ball. We're going to go. Defensive line's going to move. We're going to try to be disruptive. We were too static in the first game. And it paid off. And it worked for them. Now, you don't have a first-time around scenario to be able to lean on against Miami, and you're playing a much better offensive line. I mean, if we played the comp game, let's just roll through this here. Georgia State, no. Kentucky, no. Arkansas, No. Tulane, not really. LSU, absolutely not. Washington State, no. Georgia at times late in the season. Maybe Oklahoma's group was never good. South Carolina's group was never good. The Citadel's group, I mean, I saw a little bit of the tape when I watched that game. I'm not going to tell you I remember any of it. So Florida would be the best offensive line they played. Mississippi State, meh. Florida would be the best offensive line that I believe Ole Miss has played this year. Jaden Ball, 15 for 61. Florida ran 25 times for 108 yards, passed for 218. Lagway, 16 of 31. 218 is a touchdown and a pick. What did Lagway's completion percentage end up at on the year? 59%, 59 QBR?
Ooh.
63%. That feels high. For 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Preseason Gatorade commercial player of the year. This means he was in a Gatorade commercial. I don't really know if it means player of the year for anything. Who wins tonight? Who do you like? 800-239-9569. Do you have a favorite for this playoff? Do you have a team right now that you're saying to yourself, they're going to win it all? Based on the matchups, based on what they've been so far, based on what they look like. By the way, Kewan Lacey, 31 for 224, 3 touchdowns against Florida. He's going to be big tonight. I think the number one thing Ole Miss has to do, there are two number one things that I have for these teams that have to take place. We'll get to those throughout the course of the show. But two main things that I think of that have to take place for these two teams. Manny Navarro covers Miami. He's with us at 8:30. The coach, Wimp Sanderson's with us at 9. Stanford Steve, instead of tomorrow, because he'll be traveling to Atlanta, is going to join us today at 9:30. He's brought to us by Atlas Senior Living. If I asked you guys the one thing Miami has to do to win this game, where would you go? What's the one thing you say, Miami must accomplish this if they're going to win this football game against Ole Miss and play for a national championship? What would that be for you, John?
To me, it's the defensive line still continue to play how they have been. If they can wreak havoc, getting after the quarterback, limiting if not stopping the run, that to me has to happen. Because I think Miami's defense is predicated on getting pressure with just a 4.
Oh, and they can do it. That would definitely be early on my checklist of things for Ole Miss. Miami's got to disrupt with 4. Continue to. I think the edges are more important now, though, in run support because the way Kewan Lacey bounces the ball outside. As I stated, you guys have heard me say it probably via podcast and here, whatever. Kewan Lacey's lateral agility and quickness, I did not have the proper respect for it until I saw him in person again. I needed to see him again. The way he bounces things outside, your DNs better be on point. And there were a couple of times against Texas Tech. Remember, what Texas Tech have? Total 68, 72 yards rushing against Miami.
What
a ton.
Yeah.
They had, I believe, 50 on the one run. And it was a cutback run that it was designed to go to the right. And it went all the way backside. Not Texas Tech, but Texas A&M. So staying at home, being disciplined, because Ohio State may have had a cutback run against them as well. Because I think Ole Miss, the key for me is going to get that defensive line on the move. You have to boot the quarterback. You have to move the pocket. You got to run him outside the pocket. You need to run multiple zone read plays to get those defensive ends thinking. Charlie Weiss Jr.'s got to make Ruben Bain think, Mesidor think. Just have him sit there and say, he may keep this ball, he may hand this off. How am I going to play this? Because if you burn them once or twice early, I believe you can get it in their mind for the rest of the game. Doesn't mean you're completely slowing them down, but at least you're making them think about it. That's number one for me. And it goes to what you said too, John. I mean, essentially, it's the same thing. For Miami, you got to dominate up front. For Ole Miss, you have to find a way to keep that group off balance. I didn't think Ohio State even really attempted it. I mean, Ohio State we found a couple ways to run the ball. We quit running the ball. We turned into a drop-back team again. Actually, Georgia had the same plan against Ole Miss. Looks like a couple of inside runs are going. Cool, let's drop back some more. I thought both those plans I think the DLCs would love a redo if they had their opportunities for that. The number one thing for Miami, though, number one is protect the football. You have to protect the football in this game. And I think we kind of saw this with that game last week in the Sugar Bowl. I talked about that field goal, John, late in the third quarter, that normally you would say, 55-yard field goal, you miss it, not a big deal. It's a tough field goal. You still have a pretty decent lead, 21-12. 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter. But when that Ole Miss sideline saw that field goal be short, they erupted.
It was crucial.
I mean, it was like they had a pick six. It was like they'd knocked Gunnar Stockton out of the game. And they had not had motivation for a good quarter and a half. Don't let them find motivation. And turnovers would be a massive way of doing that. Massive way of doing that. If you look at this Miami team, they have not been crushed by turnovers in the playoff, but you had the late fumble off of a nice catch against A&M. You put the ball on the ground multiple times against Ohio State. You were just fortunate enough to get it back. If you really watch it, because what people are going to do is they're going to look at the box score and say, well, it only turned over once against Ohio State. It's okay. There were multiple times that ball was on the deck. Can't do it. Not in a game like this, not against a team that can score like this. It can't happen. Had the one turnover against A&M. It was late, but you took it away 3 times. That offset things. Stay ahead of schedule. Don't force Shannon Dawson into some of the cute play calls like he did against A&M. Because I truly believe he did that because they had no run game going, and he didn't want Carson Beck to sit in the pocket against that defense, which is actually a smart way of thinking about it. It's just some of those plays were lower percentage in nature and had an opportunity to really burn them. Ended up being no gains, not big plays, but you didn't give the ball back to A&M in scoring position, which was huge. Miami defensive line going to be big, but also, I said this early in the week, Ole Miss receivers, you better be ready. Because I promise you, somewhere in that Miami facility, there is a cut-up going around of Ole Miss receivers getting hit and dropping the football. Just in the Sugar Bowl. Not all year, not something that's been a problem for the entire season, but you're going to see Caden Lee dropping a ball, taking a hit. You're going to see Daquan Wright over the middle of the field dropping a ball. Now, yeah, it was on his back hip, but still, he hadn't dropped that all year. But they took some hits early. It got one Georgia defender out of the game. But I can guarantee you Mario Cristobal's playing that thing on loop in the Miami defensive meeting room. Miami has trained assassins in the secondary, and they're going to come downhill. They're going to come at that wide receiver core. They're going to try to get the ball out. I have no doubt about that. So the opportunities that the Ole Miss receivers do have, need to take advantage of that. Because I think Miami's going to hit. I think they're going to attack. I think they're going to know exactly what they're doing. I mean, you look at a couple of those big hits against Ohio State. I felt like those were momentum swings for Miami last time around, and that's going to be big again tonight. So those are a couple of things that I think top of the mind have to happen for both Miami and Ole Miss. And that Ole Miss D-line's got to be disruptive again. This was the best offensive line they'll play against. And you're getting similar to what you got kind of with Florida, some of the inside run game. Now, Miami doesn't get as cute as Florida tried to at times in the run game with reverses in the red zone, things of that nature. The other thing, too, that sticks out with Miami and what they did against Ohio State, Carson Beck's legs. We don't talk about that much. We don't look at that as an advantage. And I'm not saying that I think Shannon Dawson needs to draw things up and they immediately need to go to quarterback run with Carson Beck. Well, let's go QB ISO or QB power, as some announcers would call every time a quarterback keeps the football, quarterback power again. If you don't have a puller, it ain't power. But he eluded some pressure in some big moments and then decided to put his shoulder down a couple times. I think, one, that proved to his team he's out to win. He's not out there trying to pad his stats. And then number 2, going back to a couple of instances we've referenced this year with different quarterbacks, Arch Manning against A&M comes to mind, avoided catastrophe. Games like this, you don't always need your quarterback to just go ball out and go in NFL Street or whatever that video game was back in the day when you're playing in the parking lot.
Yeah, it was Street.
Was it NFL Street?
close to blitz, but a little more. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
NBA Street for sure. But
You don't need that. You just need your quarterback to not take a sack and give you 3rd and 18s or take you out of field goal range or take a hit, fumble the football, and give up a touchdown. Those are the things you cannot have in massive matchups like this. So we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about every bit of it across the course of the show today. You can be a part as well. 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Turn up 2026 in the truck or SUV you've always wanted from Royal Automotive in Vestavia. The New Year Sierra Savings event is on now at Royal Buick GMC. Get up to $15,000 off remaining 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 trucks for a limited time, featuring best-in-class standard crew cab, front, head, and legroom, plus all the info you need on the road at a glance. If you had your eye on a 2025 Sierra last year, now's the time to score big before they're gone. Or if an SUV is the ride you've got in mind, look no further than the 2026 Buick Enclave. Get up to $3,000 off 3 rows of luxury and tech with tons of cargo space and features like Bose Sound Standard. Ask the Royal sales team for all the details on these and other eye-catching offers now. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Volvo Cars, Vestavia Hills, and Royal Pre-Owned Auto Mart, all at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. Browse hundreds of models online anytime at royalautomotive.net. And remember, for every ride, there's Royal. 800-239-9569. You want to get in, talk tonight's college football playoff. Text in 205-834-9450. Tweet in at Mac and Cube, and we will continue breaking down tonight and tomorrow night's games in the college football playoff. We have portal updates, coaching updates, and Alabama hoops updates as well coming at you after this on Jocks. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. 7:20, Thursday, January 8th, right here on Jocks. College football playoff coming up tonight. There has been some news, though, around the transfer portal. We'll get to a few of those. Keep you updated on a couple of those as, well, every day probably. It just doesn't stop. It never ends. South Florida, they lose Byron Brown to Auburn yesterday. Really good get out of the portal for Alex Golesh and for Auburn. But now LSU quarterback Michael Van Buren is committed to the South Florida Bulls. Joel Aguero, safety for Georgia, in the portal. Jaden Baugh has signed a new deal. He'll be back with Florida. Also, they get Kentucky safety Cam Pauley. He will be committed now to the Gators. Missouri, edge defender Damon Wilson is going to go in the portal. Now, if you recall, we got all this stuff going on with Washington right now that we need to talk about in a minute. Damon Wilson had some stuff going on with Georgia, some back and forth rumors you heard about. Got this deal, didn't like that deal, wanted more, whatever it was, payback, not sure. Now he's going to go back in the portal. Had a good year at Missouri. And Missouri also gets a defensive back from Auburn. Kinsley Louder-Foston, he has committed. Nebraska is looking like they're going to get quarterback Anthony Calandria after a couple of stops. There's Dylan Raiola, we know. He's going to be on the move. He's not going to be at Nebraska anymore. Ohio State true freshman wide receiver Quincy Porter is going to enter the portal. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about him. I don't know how good he is, but people are going to tell you he's great. UTSA wide receiver Devin Melvin is also committed to Ohio State. And true freshman offensive lineman Javon McFadden is in the portal for the Buckeyes. UTEP quarterback Malachi Nelson back in. Again, portal. It's USC, Boise, portal, back to Boise, portal, UTEP. Jackson Arnold has committed to UNLV. I think it's a good landing spot for him. I think it's a good fit for him. I think Dan Mullen can utilize his legs. It won't have to rely as much on the passing, and he needs reps, he needs snaps, he needs development. Dan Mullen can help him with that. I like that. South Carolina kick returner DB Vakari Swain is going to be back. That's a good get for the Gamecocks. Texas Tech gets Pitt wide receiver Kenny Johnson. And Austin Simmons has also now signed with Missouri. It's just weird to hear him say that he's signed and he's going to be in an Ole Miss uniform tonight. It's where we are with the oddity of this whole thing.
Signed for one, playing for another.
I guess.
All right. I mean, if the coaches can do it, why can't the players?
Fair. Keywan Lacey, officially back for Ole Miss next season. Ole Miss also hired Patrick Toney as their defensive coordinator. Not that it matters because Pete Golding is going to run it. I mean, it's his defense. But Patrick Toney has been at Florida. He was at ULL with Billy Napier. And those guys been with the Arizona Cardinals. I think he's a bright defensive mind. That was a rough deal when he first got to Florida. I wouldn't put as much of it on him. I think he's a good coach. They also filed their third motion in an attempt to get Trinidad Chambliss back next week. And then Ross Dellinger leaks it out yesterday that Lane Kiffin was the one that convinced Thomas Mars to be a part of this case back in early November. So there's some say that Lane thought he was going to go to LSU. It doesn't look like he will. And then now if he gets that extra year, some alluding to the fact that Lane would be the reason that he got it. There we go. If Thomas Mars is involved, you're probably getting your year back. That's all I'll say.
He's got some power.
The college football ambulance chaser is getting his checks. He's getting what he wants.
Call me college football.
That's it. I mean,
I'm here for
this
it.
is what he does. He makes things happen. So he's looking for an extra year of eligibility and most likely going to get it. Also, Ty Simpson announces yesterday he's going to the NFL. How do you feel about this move? 800-239-9569. Because we're in one of those weird spots right now that his last few games have not been great, that I feel like the early sentiment here is going to be like, good. Keelan Russell take over time. Austin Max, the man. However, don't forget, just be careful what you wish for sometimes. Because I know you're excited about it, but just keep in mind 65%, 3,567 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns on top of just 5 interceptions all season with a little sprinkling of 93 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. That actually doesn't do it justice because of the sacks, but he was able to be dangerous with his legs at times.
Mm-hmm.
Is this general excitement from Alabama fans? Are they sad to see him go?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's hilarious.
Not at all. Good riddance.
800-239-9569. It's a guy, once again, a lot of folks were excited because he waited his turn.
Mm-hmm.
He did things the right way.
Yep.
He didn't disrupt the facility. He was a coach's pet for a couple years. Did things the way we wanted him to.
Took it to the college football playoff.
Everything they said all season long going into it was, I mean, I'm glad Jalen's gone because Ty Simpson, he waited his turn. He did what they're supposed to do.
Well, Jalen did too.
They don't remember that.
They don't.
They were ready for Jalen to go. Look how he played down the stretch.
You could argue Ty Simpson was built by Bama,
Bama.
actually.
He was. He was.
Unlike Parker Brailsford, Jeremy Bernard.
No.
Caden Proctor.
They were bought by Bama.
He entered the portal twice. I seen it.
That was just to get out of spring ball.
Caleb Downs built by Bama.
Yeah.
Julian Sand built by Bama.
Fair.
And true. True statements.
Also, now in their homes, built by somebody else.
Oh, no. It was built by Bama. Even if Sand was only here for a week.
Just saying, they're not in the facility getting ready for another game.
Don't matter. Bama still counts.
Bama's Bama.
What do we think of Ty Simpson as an NFL prospect?
I don't think he should be thrown out there as a rookie. He should be able to sit behind a veteran.
Well, not many should, based on how it's gone.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I've been saying it ever since he announced it. I said, if he can find a way to be on the Los Angeles Rams roster, he is going to be just fine. If you sit behind Matthew Stafford, I don't know how many more years he truly has left. And if you're Sean McVay, it's, okay, he's going to be the next one. And the system works. He could be kind of like Brock Purdy, where you put the pieces around him. He's not going to be asked to do that much. And he's going to have Puka Nacua, who will be a veteran in a couple years. I mean, he has a Devontae Adams on the backstretch of his career. Like, he's going to be surrounded by pieces that if he can find a way to get there, I think he could have a pretty good career.
I think there are going to be systems that are better fits for him, no doubt. But this is a guy that can make all the throws.
Mm-hmm.
Arm strength's not going to be an issue. Now, it's not an Aaron Rodgers arm. It's not like an elite top 3-4 NFL arm. But he can make the throws you need him to make. He's going to put in every ounce of work.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pour everything he's got into it. It will be his number one in life. And you're going to get a great dude in the facility that I think wants to be a leader, is going to go out of his way to try to lead, but not going to try to overtake whoever else is in front of him inside the facility. I think he'll be very willing to learn. He's a coach's kid.
Right.
He's going to understand how to go in there and say, all right, show me the ropes here. How do I do this? He'll absorb it. He'll take it. But he feels like the perfect candidate for how NFL quarterbacking should be. Like you said, if you have to take him middle of the first, fine. Sit him for a year or two, let him learn. And then probably not a guy that's going to blow you away, but feels like a guy that could go win some games.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a good receiver and a good tight end with a decent run game, an understanding of how to move things around, and he'll be able to do that.
You know what that sounds like? Right now, J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy didn't get near the college distribution or attempts, and I don't mean actual like attempts of throwing the ball. I mean attempts to be the guy in the games.
Right.
I think that Ty Simpson did.
No, I don't disagree, but I felt like going in, like it was
The perception of
similar.
J.J. coming out, you mean?
And look where he's at now.
No,
he's,
I can see
he's
that.
at a place with a good tight end, with a good receiver, and
Yeah.
very okay. The season didn't go how they wanted, but actually the first season kind of just busted himself. But if he can get a situation like that to where he's not coming in expecting to be Jaden Samuels, expected to be that number one. Okay, you've got to will us to win. If he can, I know it has a bad connotation, game manager. If he can come out and distribute like that, which he's probably right now most likely third best quarterback, depending on Fernando and Dante, depending on like what you want. But the way the NFL is right now, that's probably a top 10 pick, which might be bad for him.
J.J. McCarthy, by the way, and I agree with you. I think it's actually a really good comp because I think they both have underrated wheels, can break you down when they need to, but you're not going to build the run game around them carrying the football. J.J. McCarthy had 322 attempts his last year at Michigan. How many times do you think Ty Simpson threw the ball this year? J.J. McCarthy, his last year at Michigan, let me get that back up here quickly. I mean, it was an efficient year. It was a good year. He was 240 of 332, 2,991 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks, 72% completed.
And he actually had a run game.
Well, yeah, Blake Corum ran for 1245.
Right.
Donovan Edwards ran for 500.
Yeah.
He ran for 202 and 3 touchdowns.
I'll say Ty Simpson threw 470.
I was thinking 5'10".
476.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So, as I said before, had a lot more opportunities to prove what he can do through the air, but a different offense, not as one that, not one that had won the Joe Moore Award 2 years in a row, obviously.
There's a direct correlation.
Tried to lean on that, was not able to lean on that. And that's, I think maybe the other part that you have a little bit of respect for Ty Simpson going into the draft is, what are the chances he's going to have a better run game on whatever NFL team he's on than what he had at Alabama? You'd say pretty safe.
I'd like to think,
yes.
Be pretty good there.
Yes.
I think he'll have a good NFL career. I don't look at him as a franchise-changing quarterback, but you don't draft him as that. I don't think anybody's going to look at him as that. But if you have some of those other pieces in place and he can sit for a year or two, you got a guy that's going to be willing to help him learn, that could end up being a really good situation.
I think he can be Baker Mayfield.
Oh, no. Not from a playmaking standpoint.
No. Just more so the Baker Mayfield's clearly not the best player on their team, but he's a good leader and can help run that offense in terms of that. Not in terms of playmaking and running the ball, whatever like that.
Right.
More so the Bucs got where they were, not because of Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield at the helm.
No, you drafted some other playmakers around him. You have one big playmaker with him. You've put the proper equity into the offensive line before they got there,
Right.
and around him. And they drafted Graham Barton right near him. So I mean, that's situationally, yeah. I feel like Baker's a very different player, but I see where you're going. Is if you can get in that situation. Now, maybe you don't want him go somewhere and get it very wrong,
Right.
and they say get out of town because we don't like you.
Yeah.
But you'd like to see it develop a different way. The problem is here with these first deals, how they're structured, is that even how you want it to go? Do you want it to go sit for 2 years, maybe 2.5, then all of a sudden play? You're like, we got you for a year?
And now we got to pay you.
We got to decide.
And if he does good, if he does well, he's going to get paid.
It's almost
then he
like
falls off.
It's almost like you'd rather try them, fail. Okay, we'll stick with you as our backup for 2 years. And then we're done. Let's go our separate ways. Or try early, kind of fail, but it's going to work, and then figure it out.
And hope for the best, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the contractually it makes it very difficult with how you manage that right now because there's not a lot of teams that are going to go the Michael Penix route.
Right.
Of we have solidified man making a ton of money.
Who cares?
Top 10, top 12. Let's just take our next guy. Oh, yeah, we did need him. Oh, yeah, he's not going to work either. Now we're drafting a quarterback again.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue talking that. We'll get back into college football playoff. Some more portal news for Alabama that we will discuss next right here on Jocks. Are you doing an Entourage theme today?
No. This.
Okay, sorry.
I was trying to throw stuff in at the beginning.
I just
At the
remember
moment, there's
this
no
song
theme.
being on Entourage, and I know Molly does like Stranger Things theme days.
I'd like to think
See if
I'm
people
better
can
than
catch on. I
having-
wanted to try to be with it and catch on early.
I'd like to think I'm better than doing a thing for Entourage.
Has anybody watched the new Stranger Things?
I did. Yeah, I caught up.
I hadn't seen it yet.
How is it?
I don't think it's as good as previous seasons, but it's still enjoyable.
You don't think it's as good?
Correct.
You and I could have told you it wasn't going to be as good as the first three
Oh,
seasons
correct.
well before you watched this. or
I
even
knew it
considered
wasn't going
watching
to live
this.
up to expectations, which is fine, but I still enjoyed it.
Does it feel like they spent more than an hour making up whatever they did not have in mind because of the giant check they got to make more seasons?
Hour, yes. The
Hour and a
finale is
half?
2 hours.
No.
The finale itself is 2 hours. I think
What?
maybe that's how long they spent in trying to conceptualize and retcon everything.
Oh boy.
I think
If it's
you,
like most of these other series that were really good in season 1, 2, maybe 3, it's probably going to feel like they just went and did acid in a room and took 30 minutes to write it.
just about, yes, yeah.
And I
It-
only
it-
say that for that show because some of the things they come up with, like
Oh, yeah.
you're on something. if
You
you're
can
thinking
tell
of
this
these
one.
things.
It gets a bit nerdy with this one. It honestly, Stranger Things was a lot like Alabama's football season.
Dang.
I'd love to hear that comp. Let's go with that.
Please
Okay.
explain.
Not only this, I'd say Game of Thrones, some shows like Community that. Okay, well maybe Stranger Things not the best one because Stranger Things started strong and then
Yeah, I was
fell
going to say
apart late,
episode 1 terrible.
Episode 1, no, but it's one to
Did
where
90% of their fans give up after episode 1?
no because
And did they want
came
to
back.
fire the CEO of Netflix?
No, but a lot of Stranger Things fans will look back and say that the show was completely awful based off what happened at the end.
Yeah.
Therefore,
And what was the repeat thing that was terrible from the previous season that happened again this season, a la Oklahoma?
without spoiling, probably the back half of season 5.
Mhm.
It felt familiar.
Gotcha. And what was the thing that was going to happen that just didn't take place, like the Alabama run game?
I don't want to bring it up on these airwaves because it's a little controversial. Hashtag Byler. But yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you just did means.
probably for the best.
And they saw that on YouTube, so you act like you censored yourself, but
Oh,
you technically
I
didn't.
did for some, for the couple thousand watching on YouTube, for the tens of thousands that didn't hear. It's for the
Is
best.
it supposed to be Tyler, but it's not?
No. Well, maybe
Well.
in a sense.
I don't know what that word means, and I don't know what your sign language
Because there
means.
were signs earlier on. Like
I mean,
as
there
the season
weren't, but people wanted there to
wanted-
be.
Right. That's wild.
People, I guess, got Siskel and Ebert and were hoping for Blaine and Antoine.
See, this is similar because after the ULM game, people wanted Keelan Russell and Austin Mack,
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
but then that wasn't the real answer.
yeah, correct. Definitely don't think they want that. Both of them.
That's wild.
Do people like the way it was directed and instructed, you think? Or were people constantly questioning the play calls?
I think they thought it was good for most of it, but kind of near the end, they're like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So-and-so could have done it better. The pit looks better. Why are you doing
What's the star lady in her name with 3 names?
this? Millie Bobby
Bobby
Brown.
Millie Ray.
Close, right? Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Did she have a terrible season and not live up to expectations also?
To me,
I mean, if
no.
we're putting these in alignment, then the star of the show had a really poor year based on what the expectations were, correct?
To me, no. To most of the fan base, yes.
Well, then,
Again, right. Case
so
in point.
far, you're batting 1,000, I feel like,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for whatever your hand motions were. I can't give you credit for that because I don't know what that is.
Good.
Probably good.
But if you're telling me the lead role player fell way short of expectations, I don't know if she's using an app to learn how to act
Oh.
or has different sunglasses to go learn how to act again.
She did have a teddy bear for a while.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
She was young when she started. Everyone pointed out when she started the show, she was like 10, 12.
Does she have like a kaboo or what the thing's called that the kids have? My daughter has one. I don't know what they're called. What is that thing? The lullaby?
Little boo boo.
That thing.
She's talking something similar now.
Well, they all have like 80s stuff.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Oh man. Wow.
Okay. What show is Auburn season
The Wire.
or movie?
No, the pit.
Okay.
The trauma center that never could seem to quite get ahead. Maybe it had a good moment or two, but bleep just hit the fan basically every episode.
And the director was playing golf half the time?
Oh, that's the Young and the Restless then.
Just throwing the towel.
Yes.
Somebody said, I thought of you, Damien, when I heard this the other day. Somebody was talking about soap operas, and this person that either directed this film or was in entertainment somehow did such a great job, because if you notice, they're constantly repeating the lead roles' names. It's like, just like in soap operas. If you ever notice soap operas, every time someone walks into a room, no matter how long they've been on the show, they say their name. And the person that this person was talking to was like, okay, and it's like, well, the viewers are never fully invested. They're always in and out.
That is true.
The majority of viewers are, well, if it's on, I watch it.
It's on
If
in
I'm
the
doing
background,
something
right.
else, I don't get it, whatever. So you constantly have to reintroduce people throughout the course of the show, because some people watch 3 days straight and then don't watch for 2 weeks. Some people watch every day. Some people watch once every month. So
That is true.
it was, I had never heard that theory or knew that that was kind of how things went, but apparently yes. So I like this game though.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
We could just take shows and movies. I'm going to give you the break to think about one,
Okay.
and I want you to think hard about this one. If the Ole Miss football season was a TV show or movie, what would, and I know it hasn't concluded, so you may have a couple different directions you can go there, but we'll do our best with it next here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. If you have the perfect analogy TV show or movie for the Ole Miss football season, tweet that in at Mac and Cube. Also, text it in 205-834-9450. It's an interesting game we played in the previous segment. We do have a couple of folks chiming in. Would you like to hear their recommendations first, or would you like to give us your best shot?
Let's hear theirs. That's what we asked going into break.
Okay, we will we'll hear those in just a moment. You've probably heard this is going around, either in your school, in your town, with your family. Flu season is here. Make your home healthier with Trane's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles, including those that cause virus, 100 times more effective than standard air filters, 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. Find a dealer near you at Trane.com. It's hard to stop a train. Total sidebar. I don't know why this hit me here, but quickly, because this was a topic with my wife and I's podcast here. How do you eat a Kit Kat?
Individual things that break off each
Break off
piece.
and then eat one at a time?
Yeah, I don't chomp the whole thing.
Yeah,
What about like the Halloween size?
That one you chomp. Because that one's
You don't
too
break that
small to-
apart?
No.
I break mine.
You
two
can
and
then
two.
go one by one?
No, just 2 at a time.
So the regular
break it.
size one, you do it in half and then 2 at a time?
Yeah.
There was a female in our Sunday school class that said she eats the chocolate around the outside.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I didn't think there was enough mass for that to happen.
Like the whole chocolate or just like the edge?
Individually, the edges around the outside, yeah.
Okay, that's
But then if you break
Feels
them
right.
off, if you break the individual pieces off, there's only like
just
3/4
bits
of
on
it
one,
that you
right.
could even
yeah,
do.
Yeah.
Here's my Kit Kat cheat code if you're into Kit Kats and you like them. You got to get the big one. And I'm not talking the king size one. I'm talking the super thick one that's like a
The Barstool Big
it's like
Cat.
a bar
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
That thing is incredible.
Okay.
I don't know why it's so much better. I don't even know where you get it. I see them in the most random places, but if I see one, I'll get it. I can't even tell you the one place to go get it because they rarely have them when I feel like I want one. That is a cheat code win. If you ever see it and you like Kit Kats, just get it because it's amazing. And I don't know why it's so much different. Russell Terry tweets in, can we make the comp between Auburn football and Happy Gilmore 2? Well, I personally would not waste my time with Happy Gilmore 2 because there are certain things created in life that are so good, you will not allow yourself to have them be ruined. And Happy Gilmore is one of those things. I won't even take the chance of that being ruined by watching Happy Gilmore 2. Because there's literally, just like I've never seen Anchorman 2. I will not do it.
Probably
I
for
will
the best,
not
yeah.
watch that.
Yeah.
Because there is not a chance on this earth that is even 1/10 as good as the first one. It can't be. It cannot be.
It wasn't.
Predator. Should have never wasted my time with those other things they did. You don't take the greatest action film ever made and think that you can do another one or that you can take these spin-offs and be even decent because they're not. And for some reason, I only get sucked into them on like TNT in a hotel room at 1:30 in the morning in Oxford, Mississippi or Starkville, whatever. But they're all bad, every single one of them. Hamilton tweets in Ole Miss equals indecent proposal before your time, Damien.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the tape.
Parts of it worth it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was
Kudos to Redford for having the bread, though, to do it.
hell of a cast.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, Robert Redford, Demi Moore. Like that
Yeah.
was back when they put a lot of A-plusters in a
Yes.
movie, not just the one. And everybody else
Everybody
just held
else.
on for dear life. Auburn season, he says, any Final Destination movie ever.
Wow. Wow.
In other words, everybody died.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You see it coming, and then it.
I
yeah.
would say just the Auburn quarterback position was Final Destination.
Especially, too, with the on the highway with the log truck. Like, you knew that once you got behind, you knew what was happening.
True.
Ron Selesky tweets, and if the Ole Miss football season was a movie, it would be Shallow Hal meets Little Giants. That's a lot to
Whew.
take in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Little Giants.
Might be
I
onto
haven't seen
something,
Shallow
though.
Hal.
You've never seen Shallow Hal?
Mm-mm.
It's hilarious. Jolly tweets in at Mac and Cube. Hey, I Cole Cubic. I'm out here doing a paint project, and when you said kaboo-boo, I dropped the brush. LOL. What the hell is a kaboo-boo? You know what I'm talking about. These Gremlin Curious George looking dolls, something. What do they even do? I don't know.
Lord knows, I don't know. It's insane.
Russell Terry tweets in, Billy Millie Ray, she making pigs in a blanket and cinnamon rolls with her psychic powers.
Before or after she sang Humping Around?
Wow.
Billy Millie Ray.
Yeah.
Oh.
Doyle tweets in, Ty Simpson, poor man's Jared Goff. That's gone well for some folks, though.
Like, okay. So you tell me Ty Simpson
has not been all bad. I know at times it was, but not always.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Ross Twing tweets, Ty Simpson reminds me of Kirk Cousin. Singular.
Oh, okay.
Kirk Cousin. Oh, Kirk Cub. Kirk Cub. Gotcha.
I don't know which Kirk's cousin he's talking about.
Right.
But yeah.
He's rich.
You like that, huh?
Right.
Louis DeArmond tweets in, thank you. I saw how good Ty was. These people who love hypothetical football drive me crazy. If the third string quarterback's that good, why isn't he starting? Well, there are certain people you will listen to that will tell you that those reasons still exist in big college football, that favoritism is at play and guys don't see the field because the coach doesn't like them.
Nah. Give me the best 11. That's no.
You got to win.
That's it.
Okay, so what was your Ole Miss movie comp?
My first thought was Varsity Blues because you have a team that
Lane didn't want that life.
Apparently not. He decided to go even further south and find even further country. But the team, for whatever reason, the coach was no longer there. Well, Varsity Blues, they kicked him out, but obviously Lane chose to leave.
Austin Simmons got hurt, backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
And they rallied around him, and then they realized, we don't need him. Let's go out and be heroes.
Layla's back. Allie Carter running around.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
But ultimately,
who's tweeter though is what I need to know.
Ugh. Lane, probably.
Oh no.
But I think ultimately the best comp is 2.5 men.
Okay, take me further down that path.
Okay, you have someone that is a superstar.
Because you could almost go back way before Damon's time and say my two dads. Because you kind of had two different people playing the same role this year.
Well, that might be Bewitched. All of a sudden they switched.
That show is not what it sounds like in today's
No,
by the way.
It's
not at all.
Gotcha.
It's not Byler 10 years from now. No,
it's not that.
No,
gotcha.
No. But with 2.5 men.
Very legitimate, my two dads.
In 2.5 men, you have a superstar that comes in that kind of runs everything, maybe a bit sleazy, but then he goes off the rails. He's no longer there. And yet then the show really starts having more success. They start winning more Emmys. Ratings and viewership goes up a bit.
Oh, wow. So you're not even going like the actual what we see on the show. You're going like everything that goes into the whole thing.
I don't think we saw that, but if we're going to stereotype about Lane Kiffin and the way Charlie Harper acted on the show and off the show.
I love the fact that you're going even past what was able to be viewed by fans. Like
it's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
And sure enough, once he left, Alan Harper, played by John Cryer, he was all of a sudden thrust. He was made the guy, and then you start hearing him talk. You're like, oh, actually, I kind of like this guy. He won an Emmy for lead actor in a comedy series. It's like, oh, okay. People started acting like, okay, yeah, this should have been probably his all along.
That is perfect. Yeah.
So you're saying Pete Golding's going to be coach of the year?
He kind of is
He's
already.
Trending that way.
Kind of is already.
He's trending that way.
Got more playoff wins than the previous head coach.
He is. I mean, we'll hear from him next hour. He is one of those guys that the more fans hear from him, the more they like him. Some of us tried to tell y'all you were going to love him.
Yep.
And there was a time maybe in John Cryer's early career, other casts tried to run him off, but eventually he found his spot and realized, okay, this is where I need to be, can kind of say how you like me now.
That's perfect.
Well done. If anybody was going to pull that off, it was going to be you. And you did it. More of you chiming in on both Ty Simpson and that next.